When it comes to your report of findings, you have to know what it is that the patient is thinking. And the easiest way to know that is just to ask them. Now, what I'm referencing is a golden rule and commitment for your care plans, which is time before money. And the easiest way to understand what the reference point is for the patient is, how long do you think it's going to take to heal? Now, we routinely do this in our report of findings, and it gives you a great barometer of what the patient's thinking and also what the commitment level is going to be when you put people on care plans. Now, how that is set up is something that we do in the day one. It's through Socratic teaching. It's through questions that we ask that actually influences how the patient will answer you in the report of findings. Meaning, if I ask the right questions in the day one consultation, I know I'm going to wind up with certain answers in the report of findings 90% of the time. What this is called is framing. And where I teach this is the Elements of Closing workshop. You see, we teach you how to ask the right questions Socratically in the day one to set a standard and to frame the conversation. Because no conversation happens independently or in a vacuum. The conversations happen in reference to something that is in place. And I'm telling you, you can do this. You can ask questions in the consultation that will set a frame. And then in the report of findings, you unequivocally will get higher answers for length of time it takes to heal. If you want to learn this information, the Elements of Closing workshop is coming up. I've got a little bit of a break in the action from my son's regular season lacrosse games to the playoff lacrosse games, and I'm the coach of his varsity team. So we're going to do an event at the end of June. We will be in Chicago, and then I'll be coming to Europe this summer. So please watch this space. But if you want to have people answer you in the report of findings with a little longer time period than they walked into your practice as a new patient with, you need to apply the golden rule of framing. How you pre-frame it so that you don't post-frame the conversation is everything to do with your success in your practice, and that, my friends, is what we teach at the Elements of Closing. A value fact day one, a report of findings in under 12 minutes. You can get out of the insurance model. It applies in other countries, which is why we're coming over to Europe, and we'll hopefully see you soon in a workshop where you do the reps, you create the muscle memory, you have the ability to put yourself on a much higher trajectory for the rest of the year. Cheers, and we'll see you soon at the Elements of Closing workshop.
We opened in October in the middle of a pandemic, and within 3 months of practice, we just hit our 200 visits per week. We're only open 4 days a week as well, and that just goes to show you too how incredible these systems and procedures are.
What I can say is, without a shadow of a doubt, he presented the most succinct and congruent day one, day two process that I've been exposed to date. And I'm a data guy, so I don't make claims like that without having a way to track it, measure it, and follow it over a period of time to ensure that the outcomes are what they're supposed to be, even down the road.
And I mean, all of our numbers have increased, from visits to retention to revenue. All of that has increased. And so if you're thinking about going to Elements of Close, I highly recommend it.
We started Level Up back in June of 2020. We were with another mentoring group before. We were focused more on like year-long care plans, low cost, large plan. But now that we're going to the 3-month plan, it's been huge for us. Not only have our visits per week really increased by a lot, but also our collections. We're probably tripling what we were collecting before we started Level Up in June.
We've been able to find freedom, right? That's been huge for me and my family. Before, our relationships were getting a little on edge, me and my wife, and then it bled into my kids. But since joining us, our profits have gone up 119%, which has been huge for us, huge for our family. We've been able to get that freedom. We've been able to spend more time with our kids. Practice has become a joy instead of dreading going in, working hard for a little bit of money. We've been able to boost those profits in the office, which then helps us be able to pay off debts. We were told that we had to go on a 7-year time frame of paying off our debts. Now we're going to be able to pay it off within a year. So that has been one of our biggest goals. That's been huge for us.